The myth of the lost species. In the center of the galaxy, on a shining planet named Valor, there stood a great building called the Galactic Academy. It was the largest school in the galaxy. Students from every alien race came here to learn history, science, and space travel. Inside a big hall, young aliens sat in floating chairs. The teacher, an old insect-like alien named Professor Zern, floated in front of a large holoscreen. "Today," he said, his voice clicking, "we will talk about ancient myths." The screen showed strange images, tall creatures with 2 arms, 2 legs, and no tails. They were called humans, Zern said. The class laughed. "Humans," said a blue-skinned student. "Aren't they just bedtime stories?" "Yeah," said another. "They were too smart, too strong, too emotional. No species like that could really exist." Professor Zern smiled. "That is what most believe. But long ago, before the Galactic Council was formed, there were whispers. Whispers of a powerful race. A race that burned bright and vanished fast." He touched the screen. A dusty book appeared. It was very old. This is the Codex of Old Earth, one of the last books found in the ruins of a dead system. It speaks of wars, machines, and minds that could bend space. "But it's just a story, right?" a quiet voice asked. The class turned. It was Zeke, a young gray-skinned alien with large black eyes. He always sat at the back, always reading. "Professor," Zern looked at him. "That is what most think, but stories come from somewhere." After the class ended, Zeke stayed behind. He walked to the front. "Professor, do you really think humans existed?" Zern nodded slowly. "I have seen things, Zeke. Maps with no stars, codes in dead languages, and a message, a very old message." Took out a small cube. He placed it on the table. The cube glowed, and a deep, echoing voice spoke. "He will return." Zeke's skin shivered. "Who sent this?" he asked. "No one knows," Zern whispered. "The signal came from a black zone, an empty part of space where nothing survives. No light, no sound. Can I see the map?" Zern hesitated, then nodded. "Only you, and only once." He showed Zeke a map of the galaxy. A dark circle blinked, on the edge. "That place," Zeke said. "It's called the Silent Sector, right?" "Yes," Zern said. "Ships go in. They don't come out." Later that night, Zeke couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about the message. He will return. What if humans were real? What if they were just sleeping? The next day, far away from Valor in a deep space lab, something strange happened. A probe, an old one floating for years in the Silent Sector, sent a signal. The scientists in the lab jumped up. "Motion detected," one of them said. Another one shouted, "Wait, there's something else." "DNA match found." They all froze. "What species?" the lead scientist asked. The computer beeped. "Species. Unknown. Closest match, human." Back at the Galactic Academy, Zeke read in the library. Suddenly, a message popped up on his tablet. "Top, secret possible human DNA found. Silent Sector." Zeke's eyes went wide. It couldn't be. Could it? He ran to Professor Zern's room. "It's happening," Zeke said. "The myth, it's waking up." Meanwhile, in the deep lab, the probe's signal grew stronger. A small object floated toward them, part metal, part unknown. The scientists brought it inside. "It's a ship," one said, "or a pod, very old." They opened it. Inside they saw something none of them had ever seen before. A tall being, pale skin, closed eyes, wounds on his body, but he was still breathing. "He's alive," whispered the scientist. The being moved, his fingers twitched, his eyes opened, cold, sharp, human. Everyone stepped back. The man looked at them. He didn't scream, he didn't speak. He just watched. One scientist said carefully, "Do you understand us?" The man spoke. His voice was deep. "Where am I?" The room fell silent. It was the voice from the message. He will return. A signal. From the edge. The stars were quiet. Too quiet. In the blackest part of the galaxy, where light didn't dare to shine, a lonely science ship floated near the border of the silent sector, a region feared by all space travelers. Inside the ship, alarms began to beep. Lights flashed red. "Captain, we're picking up something," said a nervous voice. Captain Riva, a four-eyed alien with silver scales, leaned forward. "Define something," she said sharply. Her crew member gulped. "It's a signal, very old, bouncing between deep space frequencies. The code is not ours." "Origin?" The screen showed a dot pulsing in the dark. It was coming from inside the silent sector. "No known race matches the language," said another crew member. "But the frequency is human." Riva's heart dropped. "Human?" she whispered. Everyone froze. "But humans are extinct," someone said. "Or never real," added another. The signal repeated. A voice echoed through the speakers. Slow, calm, cold. Humanity remembers. Back at the Galactic Council, the signal caused panic. Every species sent emergency messages. Old leaders who once laughed at the human myth now sat in silence. In the middle of the chaos, Professor Zern watched the footage. He called for one person, Zeke. When Zeke arrived, Zern showed him the signal. Zeke listened. The voice was deep, almost angry. "Is that him?" Zeke asked. Zern nodded slowly. "It's not just a story anymore." The council quickly sent a secret team of elite scouts to the silent sector. Their job: follow the signal and bring back whatever they found. The team's ship, the Seeker, entered the black zone. Darkness swallowed their lights. No stars, no sound. One whispered. The only guide they had was the strange, repeating signal. After days of silence, they found something. A small pod, half destroyed, floating near an invisible moon. They pulled it inside. "It looks like human tech," said the pilot, "but mixed with something we've never seen." They opened the pod. Inside they found him, the same man from the lab in Part 1, pale, cold, alive. His eyes opened slowly. He looked different now, stronger, sharper, but he said nothing. The scout leader stepped forward. "Are you human?" The man turned his head slowly. He spoke one word. "Yes." Suddenly lights flickered. The ship's engines slowed. "He's affecting the systems," shouted an engineer. "No," whispered the man. "Your systems are too weak." He stood up. The scouts raised weapons. He didn't flinch. "You feared us," he said. "So you erased us." "Who are you?" one asked. The man smiled, but it wasn't friendly. "I'm just the beginning." Back at the academy, Zeke stared at the stars. His tablet beeped. A secret file opened. Old human writing. It said, "We are not gone. We are waiting." Zeke's hands shook. He knew what was coming. The galaxy had laughed at the myth, but now the myth was real, and it had returned. He woke up angry. The room was silent, not the normal kind of silence. This one was thick, heavy, alive. In the medical bay of a hidden council station, the man they found, the human, lay on a metal bed, his eyes open, watching everything. He didn't blink. He didn't speak. He just waited. Dr. Velnar, a soft-skinned creature with 7 fingers, observed from behind thick glass. "He hasn't eaten," Velnar whispered. "Or moved," added another. "Not even to breathe. It's unnatural." But machines told a different story. His heart was strong. His brain waves off the charts. He was listening, he was learning, he was watching. The council gave him a name, Subject 1113H, but he later spoke his true name, Commander Ash Blake, the last of Earth's Warborn. When he finally moved, it was sudden. He stood. No warning, no sound. The guards outside jumped. "He's up!" one shouted. The lights dimmed. The glass between them melted, not broke, melted. Ash stepped through the wall like it wasn't even there. The guards aimed their weapons. They shouted. He raised his hand. No gun, no tool, only 5 fingers, and pure focus. In one breath, he disarmed 3 guards and knocked them to the floor. They weren't dead, but they would never forget him. Ash didn't run. He walked through the station like he had built it. Cameras followed. Doors opened without a code. It was like the station recognized him. Professor Zern watched from a secure screen. "How is this possible?" asked a council leader. Zern looked pale. "It's human design, or something based on it. Our ships, our weapons, and our computers and all started from their lost tech." "You mean?" "Yes," Zern said. "We grew from their bones." Meanwhile, Zeke was locked in his room, under watch. But he hacked the lock easily. He had learned from Ash's digital signature in Part 2. Zeke found Ash near the star deck. He didn't look surprised. "I knew you'd come," Ash said. Zeke looked nervous. "Why are you here?" Ash turned to the glass window looking out at the stars. "I was sleeping. For a long time. But even in sleep we remember." "Who is we?" Zeke asked. Ash smiled softly. "The ones you forgot." "You're angry," Zeke said. "No," Ash replied. "I'm focused." He pointed to the stars. "Do you know what it feels like to watch your kind erased from history? To hear others laugh at your name?" Zeke stayed quiet. "They made sure no one would remember us," Ash said. "But stories survive, in books, in minds, in myths." The station's alarm screamed. Red lights flashed. "Subject 113H has breached. Security." Ash turned to Zeke. "I'm not here to destroy. Not yet. I came to wake the galaxy up." Guards rushed in. Ash looked at Zeke one last time. "Thank you for believing." He pressed a button on a small hidden device. Boom. A shockwave spread through the station. Non-lethal, but powerful enough to knock out systems. When Zeke woke up, Ash was gone. The only thing left was a small card, black, with a golden symbol. Human skull inside a circle of stars. And 3 words. "We are back." Secrets of the human war long before the Galactic Council was formed. Before peace ruled the stars. There was the human war. But no one talked about it. Not in schools. Not in history books. Not even in the Council's deepest records. Because the truth was too dangerous. In a secret library beneath the Galactic Academy, Zeke stood alone. He had used the black card Ash Blake left behind to unlock the door. No one had entered this place for hundreds of years. The air was cold. The walls were covered in ancient Earth symbols. He walked to the center where a giant black stone stood. A hologram appeared. It showed burning skies, collapsing moons, machines flying like shadows, and humans fighting against entire fleets. They weren't just warriors, Zeke whispered. They were legends. A voice came from the darkness behind him. They were monsters too. Zeke turned. It was Professor Zern. "You knew?" Zeke said. "I suspected," Zern replied. "But even I didn't know the full truth until now." He showed Zeke a hidden file. Project Emberfall, it was humanity's final act before vanishing. Ash Blake, Zern said, was one of the last commanders of that project. His mission was not to win the war. Zeke leaned in. "Then what was it?" "To disappear," Zern said. "To take the strongest humans and hide them. Far from the galaxy. Sleepers. Waiting. Waiting for what?" Zern looked up at the burning stars in the hologram. For the day the galaxy forgot what fear feels like. Somewhere near the edges of the silent sector, Ash Blake walked through the ruins of an old Earth colony. The walls were broken. The air was dead. But the ground was marked with one word, over and over. Remember. He knelt beside a hidden panel. When he opened it, a light turned on. A machine spoke. "Commander Blake, Emberfall status, green, awaiting orders." He spoke 2 words. "Wake them." Across the galaxy, old bunkers powered on, deep in frozen moons, abandoned mining stations. Ghost ships lost in nebulae. They woke up. Men and women with eyes like fire and hearts like steel. Some were soldiers, some were scientists, some were weapons, but all were human. At the council headquarters, alarms began screaming again. "Unknown energy spikes," shouted a lizard-skinned officer. "Multiple sectors, simultaneous activation." "What kind of energy?" asked the leader. The answer came slowly. "Human tech, Generation 0. The council room fell into chaos. "They're back?" someone shouted. "No," whispered a quiet voice. "They're ready." Zeke received a hidden message on his tablet. It had no name, no origin, just a voice. Ash Blake's voice. The past was erased. But we remember. War is coming, Zeke. And this time, we fight smarter. The rising fear it started with silence. Then came the shadows. In less than 3 days, 12 abandoned human bases across the galaxy suddenly came back online. Silent ships powered up. Long-dead satellites blinked like eyes opening after centuries. Every signal, every broadcast, carried the same 2 words. We remember. In the council chamber, panic grew louder by the hour. "They're activating. War tech," shouted a blue-skinned ambassador. "That tech is over 500 years old," another said, "and still stronger than anything we have." "We should talk to them," said one voice. "Talk?" a deep voice growled. "They erased half our fleets in the first war. Now they rise from the dead and you want peace?" Fear was no longer hidden. Fear had returned to the stars. On a jungle-covered moon named Ivara, a hidden research station was watching something strange. Alien scientists studied a human signal pulsing under the soil, beneath ancient ruins never opened before. Suddenly the ground cracked. A tall metal tower rose. It wasn't alien. It was Earthborn. At the top of the tower, a symbol glowed. A human, skull inside a circle of stars. The same symbol Ash Blake left for Zeke. The same symbol now appearing across space. The humans were not attacking. Not yet. They were remembering. And the galaxy couldn't handle it. Zeke sat quietly in his room at the academy. He couldn't sleep. Every few hours, a new message appeared on his screen. No sender, no name. Only 3 words. He is watching. Zeke knew who he was, Ash Blake. But why now? Why come back? He opened the Emberfall archives again. Hidden inside was a file labeled Last Orders. It said, "We do not conquer, we do not beg. We return when the galaxy forgets what humans truly are." Zeke's hands trembled. It wasn't revenge, it was balance. In deep space on a rogue council ship, a meeting was held in secret. 10 alien commanders, 10 different species, they all had the same fear. What if the humans don't want war? "What, do you mean?" one asked. "If they came to fight, we'd already be dead," the speaker said. "But they're waiting, watching, studying, like they've seen this before." Another added, "We defeated them once, but only by trickery. We wiped their history, not their fire. What are you suggesting?" The room went quiet. "I suggest we choose a side before they make the choice for us." Not all aliens feared the humans. Some remembered the old days, when Earth protected smaller planets, when humans fought for others, not just themselves, on a mining world called Dromar. A rebellion was growing, led by a half-human girl with glowing eyes. Her name was Sarah. She broadcast a message to the galaxy. The council lied. Earth was never the enemy. They feared what they couldn't control. But I am proof. Humanity lives inside us, and I choose to stand with them. Millions watched the message. Some cheered, some raged, but all of them felt fear. Because the myth wasn't just real, it was rising. The hidden betrayal, the Galactic Council was cracking. Not from war, not from weapons, but from fear. Fear of what they had buried. Fear of what was waking up, and fear of the humans they thought were long gone. In the Council's highest tower, A vote was held behind locked doors. "Do we attack first?" asked one leader. "Do we try peace?" asked another. The room split in two, but while they argued, someone was listening. Not from outside, from within. That night, deep in the shadows of the tower, a single figure walked silently through the halls. She wore a black robe. Her face was hidden, but her steps were confident. She reached a secured room. Only one person had access. Counselor Vela, a powerful voice in the council, respected, trusted, dangerous. She pressed her hand to the scanner. The door opened. Inside was a glowing screen, a secret communication hub. She opened a channel, typed one word, "Ready." Across the stars, in the ruins of a forgotten Earth outpost, Ash Blake received the message. He smiled. "It begins." Meanwhile, Zeke was starting to see the pattern. Too many systems going dark, too many secrets hidden by the council. He searched the old records again. Names, dates, disappeared files, and then he found it. Vela, listed in an old Earth project. Bridgewalker Protocol. She had been part of the original mission to wipe out Earth history, but the file showed something strange. She refused to complete the mission. Zeke's eyes widened. She was one of them. Elsewhere, on a war cruiser orbiting the Silent Sector, the Council prepared for a massive attack. Thousands of ships, weapons pointed at the stars, but as the countdown began, the ship suddenly lost control. Engines failed, weapons shut down. A virus had entered their systems, old, hidden, human-made. One word flashed across every screen, "Not yet." Vela stood at her window watching the stars. Behind her, a small hidden device played a message from Ash. "The time will come. Let them fear. Let them remember. And when the sky turns red, we walk through fire together." She closed the message, then turned to face the city. Below her, thousands of citizens were marching, some in fear, some in hope. They held banners with a symbol the council had tried to erase, a human skull inside a circle of stars. And somewhere, in the dark parts of space, the sleepers of Emberfall continued to rise. The old ones, the silent ones, the forgotten ones, not for war, but for judgment. When the myth stands before them, across the stars, every screen turned black. No signal, no sound. Just one word appeared, "Live." And then, he appeared. Ash Blake, the last human commander, the myth, the galaxy, laughed at, now standing before them, tall and alive. Behind him, a wall of stars, fire rising, ancient banners glowing. The symbol, a skull in a circle of stars. For a moment, no one spoke. Worlds froze, ships stopped. Even the council held its breath. Then, Ash began to speak. "You tried to erase us. You buried our cities. You silenced our name. But myths don't die." His voice was calm, steady, like thunder behind glass. "We were not the monsters in your stories. We were the warning. You made peace by stealing truth, but truth does not sleep forever." In cities across the galaxy, people gathered in silence, watching. Some gasped, some fell to their knees, some raised their fists in salute. On the mining world, Dromar, Sarah smiled. He made it. Ash raised a hand. Behind him, holograms appeared. Images the galaxy was never meant to see. Old Earth cities, fleets of light, alien children saved by human hands. Battlefields where humans fought to protect, not conquer. And then, the betrayal, the vote to wipe Earth, the plan to burn its name from the stars. In the council chamber, chaos erupted. "He's exposing everything. Cut the signal. We can't. He's inside our system." Vela stood in silence. She wasn't shocked. She was proud. She had waited years for this day. Ash looked directly into the camera. "We do not come to rule. We do not come for revenge, but we will no longer hide. Earth is gone. But we are not." Then his eyes darkened. If you choose fear, prepare for it. But if you choose truth, stand with us. The screen blinked. Ash was gone, but the stars behind him remained, and the galaxy was no longer the same. Epilogue. Some species chose to fight. Others chose to listen. But most began to remember. Little by little, the truth of humanity returned. Their art, their courage, their madness, their mercy, and, in time, new legends rose. Not just of Ash Blake, but of those who stood with him, the ones who believed the myth, until it stood before them.